Today we'll take a look at America's favorite SUV, the Ford Explorer, and do a POV drive in its performance version, the Ford Explorer Sport. For 2017, the Explorer has gotten some minor upgrades, one of them being that finally Sync 3 is available for the Explorer lineup. The engine is the same 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo with 365 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. I'm going to put the transmission in sport mode. And here we go. Wow. It pulls really well for a almost 5,000 pound SUV. The torque feels like it's actually more torque for a heavy vehicle like this. And it is a bit of a gas guzzler when you drive spiritedly. Most of the sound that you're hearing is the induction noise, which seems to be a bit of a trend that Ford is going with nowadays. If you look at, for instance, the Ford Taurus show, that has the exact same engine. The engine sound that you hear from within the vehicle is more of a raw, natural V6 sound. For some reason, it sounds different driving the Explorer Sport. It sounds good, but it is a bit of a fake sound, I guess. And for those of you that have recently watched my Ford Fusion Sport POV and review, I think the reason for that is because they want to soundproof the vehicle from exterior noise, and the solution for engine noise then is induction noise through the speakers. We're going to do another pull here on the on ramp. That's 60, 80, 90, and I'm sure you can figure out what the final speed was. Ford Explorer in general, now this being the Sport, is an extremely comfortable vehicle to drive. Tons of room. Obviously all Explorers are third row seat. This has a beautiful black leather interior with the red contrast stitching across the seats. So along with being a performance model, does have every luxury amenity that you can get with a Ford nowadays. Excellent visibility, huge front windshield, and you got a big rear windshield. Good vehicle to drive with a full family on board, which this vehicle is made for, obviously. Have the cooled seats on. It's a pretty hot day here in Pittsburgh today. It's 85 degrees, and the air-conditioned seats must be one of the best inventions ever, especially when you have black leather interior. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the Ford Explorer lineup finally has Sync 3, which is an excellent system. Several voice command capabilities.
Please say a command.
I'm hungry.
Where would you like to search? Please say nearby or in a city.
Nearby.
Please say a line number.
4.
When ready, press the voice button and then say set as destination.
Cancel.
Canceling.
That was just to demonstrate one of the features that you can use. Very nice feature to have if you're driving around in an area where you're not very familiar and you want to find a place to eat. So the Ford lineups that, or every Ford vehicle that has Sync 3 has about, I think it's around 1,000 voice commands available. Personally, I probably use about 10 of them, and I probably maybe know about 15 of them. Now, having the transmission in sport, it'll sharpen the throttle response, and as you can, I don't know if you can hear that, but it keeps the vehicle in gear for a longer time. It doesn't shift as often. Now, it doesn't really change the suspension setup or anything like that. It's more throttle response, and it'll rev higher on each gear. Zero to 60 time. I have actually done a video already in the Ford Explorer Platinum that you guys can check out if you're interested in seeing what a 0 to 60 time is in a Ford Explorer Sport or Platinum, as they have the same engine, same platform, they weigh the same. A link will be popping up on your right hand corner on your screen, so you can check that out if you're interested. Now, the Sport has better suspension than the rest of the Explorer lineup, although I just mentioned that if you put it in sport mode, that doesn't change that suspension setup, but it handles very well. Obviously there is some body roll being a big SUV, but it sits extremely well on the road. Very planted, as a sport trim level of any vehicle should be. And also, as I mentioned, it does sound good. Just wish that the engine sound would be more of a natural sound instead of mainly induction noise. Stereo in the Ford Explorer Sport is the Sony stereo system with 390 watts. It's got 12 speakers and a subwoofer. It obviously never really does justice in these videos, but it is a good stereo system. The Platinum Explorer gets an upgraded Sony stereo system with 500 watts. Would be nice to have that in the Explorer Sport as well. It handles well in the corners. Now, Ford says that none of their EcoBoost engines require premium fuel, although it is recommended. I can tell a slight difference just from my 2015 Ford Fusion Titanium with the 2-liter EcoBoost engine from using regular fuel versus premium. Currently there is premium fuel in this 2017 Ford Explorer Sport, and having driven many of these several times, you do notice a slight difference. It definitely feels like the vehicle breathes a lot better than on regular fuel. It goes without saying, obviously, for a car enthusiast that you use premium fuel, but for the everyday person, family, what have you, that don't want to spend all their money on fuel, you can get away with 87 octane. Now let me know what you guys think of the 2017 Ford Explorer Sport. Full review coming up later this week. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon.